All right, this is the American Contractor. Today's April the 1st, April Fool's Day, 2020. And I got several articles here I just want to talk about just what's going on in the United States, in our country, and also what's going on in Iraq. First article I want to talk about is oil prices could soon turn negative as the world runs out of places to store crude, analysts warn. This is from CNBC. It's dated April 1st, 7:13 in the morning. And it just amazes to me that oil price is at, I think, $20. So this is not going to be good. The coronavirus pandemic has meant countries have effectively had to shut down, with many governments imposing draconian measures on the daily lives of billions of people. It has created unprecedented demand shock in energy markets, with storage space, both onshore and offshore, quickly running out. Analysts at Goldman Sachs have warned the coronavirus shock is extremely negative for oil prices and is sending landlocked crude prices into negative territory. Now, I don't know if oil prices will go negative. Let's check the prices right now. Just bear with me. All right, right now, WTI crude, that's what Iraq sells, is $20. So it's down 27 cents. I can't imagine that falling down, way down, $1 a barrel, 50 cents a barrel. That would be crazy, but it's possible. It's possible. So we'll see. Right here, landlocked crude prices seen falling below zero. How could that happen? International benchmark Brent crude trade at $25.33 Wednesday afternoon, down more than 3.8%, while U.S. West Texas WTI stood at $20.54. Both benchmarks recorded their worst ever quarter through the first 3 months of the year. To date, around 860,000 contracted the COVID-19 worldwide. 42,000 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University. Right here, analysts at Goldman Sachs have warned the coronavirus shock is extremely negative for oil prices and is sending landlocked crude prices into negative territory. The U.S. Investment Bank estimates that the world has around 1 billion barrels of spare storage capacity, but much of that will never be accessed, as the velocity of the current shock will breach transportation networks. Indeed, given the cost of shutting down a well, a producer would be willing to pay someone to dispose of a barrel, implying negative pricing in landlocked areas. To be sure, Goldman said expects waterborne crudes like Brent to be far more insulated from the coronavirus shock, with the international benchmark likely to stay near crash costs of $20 a barrel, albeit with temporary spikes below. And with demand collapsing but supply rising after OPEC and non-affiliated Russia failed to reach a production cut agreement in early March, global inventories could reach their maximum capacity within weeks. Okay, already ports and refineries are turning away oil tankers. This will put even more downward pressure on prices and pose an existential threat to many companies. So you have this big tanker right here, and I forgot how many millions of barrels of oil it can hold, but it's a lot. So they have all these ships not porting to offload their cargo. They're just sitting out here in the ocean. And China, what they've been doing for the last several years is using these boats, these big tankers, as storage facilities. So now they don't have enough capacity to store it all. And they're not burning as much because the economy is going down. Our economy is going down. So, we burn about 22 million barrels a day. And we produce, like I said, Trump said we produce like 12 million barrels a day, but we burn like 22 million barrels a day. So how are we the #1 exporter in the world? Well, the answer is we're not. So this is one article. And let me go to this one. Unemployment could reach 30% in the U.S., says St. Louis Fed's Bullard. Now, the Federal Reserve, you got all these people that are talking about, oh, the Federal Reserve is going to be out, they're going to be shut down, whatever. And that is not the case. That is further from the truth that I can even talk about. And they're alive and well. They're going to be the lender and the borrower of the last resort. Every time they send out money, every time they give out money, doesn't matter who it is, a corporation, it doesn't matter, corporation, it doesn't really matter who it is. They own that company. They own a stake in that company. You take any kind of money from the federal government, especially the Fed, they own you. And that's what's happening. So the federal government is taking this money, borrowing, like I said last week, of $2.3 trillion, and they're just buying it. Now Trump wants to borrow another $4 trillion, and it's just going to get worse. Plus, the Fed just announced a few days ago where they're going to start loaning money, giving money out to anybody in the world. So what they're doing is they're just buying corporations, and they're gonna decide who's going to get the money and who's going to survive this issues and this problem, economic downturn that we're going to have. So unemployment can reach 30%, says this St. Louis Fed's President Bullard, I think his name is. Yeah, Federal Reserve Bank St. Louis President James Bullard explained to Bloomberg News why he sees the U.S. unemployment rate hitting 30% in the coming months. We are headed for a Great Depression, folks. It's coming. So hopefully you prepared yourself. You got into gold and silver. You got into maybe some foreign currencies, and you protected yourself. You know, try to lessen your maybe your holdings in U.S. dollar. I don't know, but you can't go wrong if you're holding cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. Let's go to another article. Coronavirus may infect up to 70% of the world's population, expert warns. The low end was 40%. So right here, CBS News spoke to one of the country's top experts on viruses, Harvard University, who cautions that 40 to 70% of the world's population will become infected. And from that number, 1% of people who get symptoms from COVID-19, the disease caused by coronavirus, could die. So I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that's what the experts are saying, and we got to protect ourselves. Okay, let's go to Iran. U.S. prepared to retaliate against Iranian terror attacks in Iraq. Coronavirus will not stop U.S. military action. If you're on my newsletter, published weekly newsletter, if you're on that, you would know that I've been telling you this is coming. So we will be attacking the Hezbollah militia group in Iraq. We will be attacking them. We will take action against them. If they're in Iran, we'll attack them in Iran too. There's nothing that Iran can do to us. They don't have the technology or the capability to do anything to the United States. And so if you have any questions, just go ahead and comment below. Put it in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I pretty much answer all your comments. I try to anyway. If I miss the day that you comment, I probably get it the next day or 2 days later or 3 days later, sometimes a week later. Just got a lot going on, and there's it's a lot of moving parts when you're doing YouTube videos and trying to keep track of everything. But thank you for watching, and have a good day.